did what I did in South Carolina, I would not and if I had covered that old driver's license in North Carolina, I may not have gotten that ticket. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why he went at that license because it was nothing on file like I have in South Carolina. You know, all I did, you know, when I first went into the DMV, I was attacking it from an old perspective of I just want my nationality on my driver's license. I wasn't thinking explanatory statements. So basically, I wrote a letter to the commissioner saying that they were stopping me from doing something, and he said I can do it. So basically, I went and they just changed it. But I didn't have any backup paperwork on file scanned into their system there. Now, I did it for my son, you know, after the fact when we learned, I had him do it in North Carolina, but, you know, I didn't go back and update mine. So I think I would have not had the ticket at all if I had done that, covered those bases. So if you do have any old contracts out there, once I get through with today, you'll see how to present it to them. And you're always going to deal with the top, the commissioner, whoever's over that department. All right, let's share this screen here. Let me move this over here to this screen. And let's share.
Hakeem, real quick, you're saying that you're only going to deal with the commissioner, so this is going to be paperwork mailed into the DMV.
I didn't get there yet. I didn't get to the whole complete process. Wait till once I complete everything and you want to add on the other people, we'll get to that. All right. So let's go to this. All right. This is the driver's license explanatory statements. Those of you who have been with me a while, when you were doing your passport application, I just told you to transfer from that passport explanatory statements and use that for your driver's license. And as you can see, this is different from what I had told you to do before. This is a little more detailed. So this is the driver's license explanatory statement. All right, so thanks for tuning in. They are admitted in evidence equally with the originals thereof. This section does not apply to cases, action, proceedings of which the federal rules of evidence apply. So any government document that is authenticated is considered as the original, right? That's one of the laws on there. So another law is, let's see another one. 8 USC 1104. Let's look at that. 8 USC 1104. Powers and duties of the secretary. So this is the law for the passport, authenticating your passport or administering passports. And then there's, let's see, what's another one? 5 USC. Trying to find a good one. Well, basically, all of these laws talk about what's evidence. Once you authenticate something, it is considered a fact, and you could use it as evidence of anything. So you're going to create your documents, which I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you the documents. Let me share this. First, So imagine if you was armed with the knowledge that the feminine aspect is wisdom. So now you know what to look for in a wife, a woman who has wisdom. I mean, look around us. Look around. There's not many of that going on. Wisdom. Everybody's chasing after the next fad or trend, you see? Everybody's doing things that are not wise. Why? Because we come from a system that taught us not to be wise. They taught us that we needed their education system to go get a job. That's not what God gave. Remember, wisdom is worth more than gold, silver, and any riches you got. See, when they told the story of Solomon when he became king and God asked him what he wanted, he said wisdom. This here, it really opens your eyes up to why they took this out, so that you don't see the power of both man and woman. So they had to choose one. They chose one and put the other one down, and you need them together. See, that man, Solomon, knew he needed wisdom. He needed that feminine aspect of knowledge and understanding and compassion. But I'll say this, if you're sitting in a place and you having problems and you've been going to this place for all these years and your financial problems and your depression hasn't gone away, then you are in the wrong place, I would say. Because in order to make a significant change, become a new person, you pretty much got to get rid of 80% of the things you're doing right now to see some changes in your life. 80%. In some cases more. That's why I told y'all 10x is better than 2x. They articulate that very well. We assume that we can hold on to this and hold on to that and still become successful people. That's an assumption. But the fact is, it's not true. Because if those things that who you are today and what you've been doing up until this point today, still you not where you need to be, then there's some changes that need to be made. And that's the key. All right. Peace. Let me. All right. I just want to make sure my mic was working. I was acting a little strange. All right. It's a Q&A Mondays as usual. I didn't get any questions. No one emailed me a question that I could think of right now. I don't remember any ones coming through. But I got a real good show for y'all tomorrow, and it's talking about car repossessions. Do they violate the Fourth Amendment? What can you do? How to how to stop that? The reason why I did this show for tomorrow is because I was watching this dude repossess cars. He does videos of repossessing cars. His brother driving around repossessing cars. He was actually like opening up people's garages with a universal remote somehow, going into people's backyards and grabbing their cars. And I'm like, this is highly illegal. Like it's unconstitutional because it takes your right to due process away. A bank says you owe money. They send somebody to come snatch up your car, right? Let's think about that. Come snatch up your car. But how do you know their records is right? And then the law always seems to stand on their side. Well, it says a repo. The company say you owe them money. Well, that's a question, meaning go to court and prove it. But the way this system is designed for them to win, these corporations to win, this is how you know it's a setup around here. Because if their records is wrong and they come snatch up your car and say, and then they hold it ransom, or you pay us, we'll give it back, or we take it. It's called self-help repossessions without a court order. But we have constitutional laws is that if there's a dispute, it needs to go to court and they need to prove that you owe, and then the judge decides whether you owe or not. And then they can, get a court order to repo or a court order you to pay. But this unconstitutional thing where that's just snatching your car because you're late on the payments and they use a third party to do it, that's a third party debt collector. He doesn't know whether you're late or not. He's just going by what the company is saying. So this guy's doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm reading the comments, and it shows how ignorant and how people don't know their rights. Like one guy, he came to snatch it up. He was at AutoZone, and he came and snatched it. Man, trying to plead with the repo dude about taking his car. Do you understand that title is titled to you? It's titled to you. It's not titled to the company. So lawfully, that car belongs to you, whether you're making payments or not. So we got to get out of this servitude mentality. Like these people got all the rights. You have all the rights. You have the only. It's onus on them to prove that you owe that money. And lawfully, you can physically stop that repo guy from taking your car because that's your property that you're entitled to use. And the cops will sometimes help these guys out because they see a piece of paper that they got. It's not a court order. And they'll help them take your car. And I'm going to read some cases tomorrow where the court sided with the individuals who got their car repoed because the sheriff came in and helped this guy, blocked him in and let him take the car. They can't do that. I know that for a fact because I helped somebody in my family who they were getting their car. I said, go sit in the car. Don't argue with him. Get in the car. He's not going to move with you in that car. And then eventually he let that car down. They called the sheriff, and the sheriff tried to come out and help him. And I said, listen, the state can only intervene if there's a court order. And they started hemming and hawing. Oh, well, if you owe the money, it's none of your business whether I owe the money. You need to tell that man to let it down. Period. Now, I'm not condoning violence or anything, but if they show up on my property coming up my backyard, he's getting lit up. And I'm going to be within my rights because I'm protecting my property. And the Constitution says I can do that. I'm secure on my papers and my property. Who are you? I don't know who you are coming on my property trying to take my stuff. I don't give a damn of what they say I owe or don't know. That ain't your business. And see, the dude was to show you how he knows what he doing is wrong. He was wearing a bulletproof vest. You doing it? Why you wearing the bullet? Why you got to sneak and get it? Take the car. Why? Y'all got to know the rules, man. I helped a few people in that situation. They turned that car. Listen, you better turn it down, or it's about to get real up in here. The way the federal courts, the Supreme Court has said, if they can only take the car peacefully. So that means that you have to peacefully consent. If you catch them touching your stuff and you start getting crazy, they got the piece is broken. They got to let that go. And whenever the sheriff steps in and try to help them, then that qualified immunity goes out the window because they just broke the Fourth Amendment. But I'm going to read what the court says tomorrow. I don't want to go into some, this is just a preview. When I was watching these videos and I said I was looking at the comments and I was like, these people are really sleeping. They got us so programmed to let these people do whatever they want to us. The Constitution is for us to protect our rights, to keep them in check. And when the sheriff is going around aiding and abetting in self-help repossessions, they are dead wrong. And they'll say, "Oh yeah, you got repossessed." I said, "Oh, you let them? Oh, so you're okay with them stealing cars? Oh, it's not stealing. Yes, it is stealing. They don't have a court order to take that car." And I actually, in North Carolina, I talked to the sheriff about it. He said, man, that's a dangerous job because literally he said, if you come out there and you defend your property, whatever means necessary, whether you come out there blazing or whatever, there's nothing we can do because that's your property. And you're defending the right to hold on to your property. Somebody's actually taking your property without your permission. The title says your name on it. That means you are the legal owner of the car. Get that through your head. I don't care they come in where the bank says you owe money, we need to take it. I don't care about that. Tell them go to court and prove it. Prove it. And it's not to be decided on the street. It's to be decided in the court. So because the banks know that it costs a lot of money to go to court and hire lawyers and go through that process, they do self-help repossessions. And these officers, these who's supposed to be protecting your right, is allowing it because they programmed to believe that's right. And it's not right. It's wrong. If you owe me money, I can't just go into your bank account and take it. I got to go prove you owe it, get a court order, and then Even then, it's hard to get if you ain't got no money in the bank. I got to go through a whole process. But they allow these big corporations to skip the whole process, which is totally wrong. It's not a fair system for the regular people. This how you know a corporate. This country is just one big corporation working with other corporations for its own benefit, not yours. Okay? Understand that. So if you guys are facing these issues where you kind of late on 1, 2 payments, you catch them, you can stop them. But I read the cases that show that the court upholds that they can only take a repossession. That's why they sneak in when you're not around and take it. But him to drive on your property, get on your actual property and go get it? Oh, hell no. He's in violation. He's trespassing. I'll have his ass locked up and everything. I remember my dad years ago, they tried to take his van. He was behind on some payments. And it was over 20 years ago. And he was using that car for the post office. And he caught the dude, and the sheriff asked my dad. Now, see, this is a bona fide. The sheriff deputy was doing his. He said, "What do you want to do? You want me to take him to jail for taking your car?" And my father opted out of that. See, that shows you the power. See, I was given breadcrumbs throughout my life with little things. I said, "Well, you could have done that." And then I looked it up. Yeah, take self-help repossessions is really violating your right to due process to fair hearing. This, for them to prove that you actually are late on those payments. And that's a civil dispute, meaning they have to go through the proper channels. They should be going through the proper channels. And my job is to tell you to make them work for it. Don't just give up your stuff easily. Ain't no way. I mean, I can show y'all some other little tricks. Now with this y'all like this new technology stuff where you got the GPS built in the car, but really those are trackers. And they could turn those little trackers on to find out where the car is. But when this guy was opening up people's garages and taking it out of the garage, I'm like, and he looking all tough and acting all, man, come to my garage and open up my garage. And the guy caught him doing it. He's sitting up there. You can tell this dude didn't know it was right. He's sitting up there, oh man, trying to plea. Man, ain't no plea. Smith Wesson, Glock, Ruger, all that would be helping me, but in that situation, man, you got 2 seconds to drop whatever you doing and get the hell off my property, or it's gonna be a bad day for you. Okay, serious. I mean, it's just the boldness of it all. You just gonna take and program something to open somebody's garage, and people are looking at that all and amazed me. Hey, he be doing this, he be that, until they repossess your car. I'm for the working man. I'm for them. Like, yo, I don't give a damn about these corporations and whether you owe money or not. You need to know your rights. Because how you know their records are even right? Correct. With all the billing issues that they have, I'm disputing. I don't owe you jack. Prove it. Prove I didn't pay you. You got I'm gonna take it all the way to the end. Okay? And that's why you buy yourself time. And it's funny I'm doing this. I'm sure somebody, at least one person is listening to me right now, is probably in that situation where they're close to, they're struggling and trying to keep up with their things. Hey, I just gave y'all some tools. And tomorrow I'm going to give y'all some other tools tomorrow from experience. Show y'all how to, get them to force them into a discharge situation. I've actually told y'all this years ago when I had filed bankruptcy and they tried to take my truck, when they try to come and get it. And I was like, I don't know where it's not in my possession. at all. And I made them go to court, and the judge told me straight up. I said, had the lawyer there trying to testify, and I said, listen, you have to throw out everything he's saying because he's a stranger. He doesn't know anything about this situation, firsthand knowledge. I said it a little different. The judge looked at me and said, you are absolutely right, Mr. Barber. And looked at the lawyer, where's your client? Oh, he ain't. Well, hey. So, yo, y'all gotta work, gotta know these things. Listen, just because you're late on some things, and that happens, life happens. It does. But what helps is knowing your power. Anytime someone says you owe them money, they need to go to court and prove it. That's giving you due process so both sides can share their story, and then this court can decide whether who's right and wrong. When they go and doing this self-help nonsense, that's the government giving corporations an edge on you. They're putting themselves in a better position to you because they know it'd be hard to win these things going to court. Why would it be hard? Think about that. If they went to court and said you owe them money, right? Who's showing up to court? Just the lawyer. And I already taught you about lawyers don't know anything. They don't have firsthand knowledge. So you could sit there and say, hey, like I did, hey, he don't have firsthand knowledge of what's going on. Where is the bank? And someone with firsthand knowledge. See, this is how they set it up against you because they know if you went in with the proper tools, they would never beat you in these situations. Absolutely not. If you understand your rights and you walk them down through the letter of the law, how it's written, in the plus the kind, I do probably I have a right to face my accuser. Where they at? Where's the bank? And they're gonna send someone there that has, even if they did show some representative, which they never do. It's always attorneys, third-party debt collectors. Y'all gotta understand these rules of evidence. What's evidence? A lawyer is statements in court is not evidence at all. Zero. It's just him making claims on facts that he know nothing about. That's it. Think about it. Even Christ said they keep you ignorant because y'all hide the truth. Lawyers hide the truth from you. Now you know there's people like me. We tell you what your rights are. All debts, all of them, will be so hard for them to prove because none of their information meet the qualifications as true, certified eyewitness testimony. And that's what is required. Eyewitness, hey, yes, I substantiate this. He did this transaction. He signed up for it. See, this is a debtor system, right? So they had to make rules to keep you in debt. And they had to cheat. They're cheating. When they do stuff like that, that's cheating. That's not an even playing field. When they allow someone to just snatch up the property without going to court. No other people can do that but banks, creditors, when it comes to cars. See, cars can considered a secured collateral, right? It's a secured property. They secure that rights to it until you finish paying it, right? Because they put the title in your name and then they said this is the lien holder. But they program everybody to say that, make the creditor be the end all be all. And when you're the end all be all. You're the one with firsthand knowledge. You're the one who has to admit or deny the transaction because you're the only one who's going to be standing in court with firsthand knowledge. Anyway, All right, it's Q&A. It's 8:30 and I got 9 o'clock. I got to do a webinar. The driver's license webinar with a bonus. I'm going to be going over that W-4 form and showing y'all I actually created a template that you can use to help you with not having those taxes take out of your check and not have problems. Well, I won't say not have problems because there will be. They so programmed to do that, they're going to try to push back. But y'all should be sharing this. The stuff I'm dropping for you guys. I don't know anybody else talking and giving y'all real life information, real live remedy. Most of these channels, they're talking about discharging, secure party creditors, stuff, that old nonsense that people pay a lot of money for and still haven't gotten any remedy for it. Y'all never hear me talk about secure party creditor at all. Because really, that don't even exist. It's called secured party. A secured party. Secured party creditor, they made that up. But you look at the UCC, it don't say anything about a secured party creditor. But when you don't read these things, you don't know that it doesn't say that. But it sounds good, right? It sounds, oh, I'm a secured party creditor. I want to be the creditor. No, you don't. You don't want to be none of that. That's corporation stuff. That's for corporations to be creditors. And I just showed you how creditors, banks, they really don't even have standing, true standing. It's the courts that help them have true standing. Because for any type of debt to be valid, it needs to meet these requirements. It needs your wedding signature. It needs witnesses that are willing to testify to the facts that you did sign that. Think about your mortgage. When you took the mortgage, where was the bank? The bank was not there. It was a real estate agent and some lawyers. But the actual person who was supposedly giving you money, we're going to that, was never there. So that transaction technically is not valid. It doesn't meet the test of a true contract. But once again, the states, the government allow banks, these big banks to do that. Not be there, not be president. Wait a minute, how you not going to be president? You're the one say you giving out this money. Where you at? To witness the transaction. If me and you were doing business, you would have to be there. I couldn't do it while you in some other place, unless I send somebody in my place that represents me, and it can't be a lawyer. It has to be a representative of that bank, but they never there. And that's another thing. How can they even go back and get your wedding signature on that contract after they done transferred it several times? And listen, let me give you a word to the wise and a word to the warning. Stop following people that say you could discharge your mortgage the way they teach it out there and get you guys to stop making payments. You end up going into foreclosure and losing your house. I know some. I see your hand up, David Raphael. I'll open your mic in a second. I know. I'll just give you one example. I know someone who had 11 properties when I met him. They got 0 now, and now they're living out of a little RV. Basically, one step away from being homeless because they were following those processes. And I warned them. I said, listen, stop messing with that. No, all these people that telling you to do that, they don't even have a house themselves. They homeless basically, and they telling you how to keep your home. They gonna bring you down to their level. And I watched this over the years, and people will come to me talking about this guy said this, I could do this, and I said, who is this guy? They show me the guy. They tell me the guy. Okay, what's his assets? How he living? Well, he's in between places right now, and I'm like, and you really listening to that? I said, do you understand that only real remedy that person, if you call it remedy, is give you exactly where their life is right now? They broke. And they teaching you how to do something that they haven't done or can do. I remember I was part of this group where they were teaching people how to do build funnels, kind of like a funnel and stuff, so you can sell your products, right? And there was this one person in the group who wanted to motivate people on being successful at being an entrepreneur. And then the question, okay, what do you do? And he was like, well, I got a job. I'm working FedEx. Wait a minute. You're going to teach people how to be successful being an entrepreneur, and you ain't even an entrepreneur. I found that to be wildly crazy. I was like, what? I said, and then they was just going ahead taking the man money to chill. I said, I had to say something. How y'all teaching people to do stuff they ain't really done? Like, I don't see how that's gonna be successful. You know, energy is energy. The energy you put out is the energy you gonna be returned to you. So you hanging out with people who are putting out poverty in energy, broke minded energy. That's gonna be returned, and you're gonna get that. It's contagious. Y'all do know poverty is contagious, right? Hanging out with the people, you could be the one in the group that got it all going on, but you keep hanging out with them people, you gonna be just like them eventually. You're gonna develop their little habits and their mindsets just like them, and they're gonna beat you down mentally, spiritually until you get there. Or it may take time, but you're gonna get there. That's why you see the people who are have a certain reach a certain level of life, they don't allow that into their life, into their space. Not that they feel like they're better than them. It's not about being, it's about the energy is contagious. See, I want to hang out with the big boys because I want that to rub off on me. You see? All right, let me get this because I do have to do this webinar and I could run on. Allowed to speak. David Raphael, your mic is open. Unmute yourself and share whatever you have to say. So I can't hear you if you're speaking. Can y'all hear him? He done muted himself back. I didn't hear him. He didn't say nothing. I should have heard something. Not speaking yet. All right. While he's trying to figure that out, let me see what's going on in that chat. I see he's saying something, but for some reason it ain't coming through. Hang on. I'm going to leave the Telegram and then come right back. Maybe that could be the problem. Maybe it's me and not him. I see his thing is lighting up, but I just can't hear what he's saying. But I'm gonna go back. All right. Okay, I'm back in. So we lost him. Let me test something. Let me see. I see Teresa is on. If she could help me out, can you just speak and see if I can hear you, Teresa? Oh, I couldn't hear him, but hang on. For some reason, it's not coming through that on my end. I could hear you, but I couldn't hear him at all. Yeah, I can hear you, but now I got to get the listeners to hear you. Hang on, let me fix this. Let me fix it. Um, yeah, I can hear him now, but it's not the YouTube can't hear. All right, let's go ahead and speak.
How's it going, brother?
It's still not coming through. Dang, every time I don't know. I think they purposely mess with my sound because I have the settings and then it just be tripping. Hang on, let me fix the settings here. 'Cause I want everybody to hear what you got to say. System settings. General. I got the system audio going. Okay, that's the issue right there. All right, that should work. Go ahead, speak for me.
How about now?
No, it's still not coming through my system audio. All right. I really hate it when I do this. All right, go ahead. Just ask your question. I'll just share with the audience while I'm working on this. Go ahead. What's your question?
In the other groups, um, like with the oh my, it was just a comment
Okay.
about how we was talking about the lawyers, how
Hmm.
they perpetrate as their creditors when we're really the creditors. I just remember years ago, on accident, I had got my original mortgage and promissory note back, and I can see what they did with it. You can see where they stamped it, paid to the order of under my name, and that just showed me right there that we create this stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, so if we're creating it. It's like, well, why are we paying for it? And then just on the sidebar, like you mentioned, just following other groups to just would just lead you to the edge, because that's what happened to me. You know, th- that's how I
Yeah.
found that out on accident, because I let the mortgage go and was going through that. But um, the jewel that I got was by an accident. I got to see those documents, and that's, I wish I had those. I definitely would have shared them with you, but that just showed me that we create this stuff.
Yep, we do. You know what? Let me see what's going on out here. Input. Let me see if that works. All right. Yeah, we create it all. Everything we create. So without that signature, there is no credit. There's no monies changing hands. That's why the rule is the wedding signature. So, all right.
When I saw that, I was like, wow, that's paid to the order of, you know, the CEO and the CFOs double stamped it. So it gets passed through more than one time when I saw that. So it's like you're saying, just I would just say to listeners, just follow what you got to say, because I hadn't seen it all too, you know. Um, and a lot of the stuff, that's what said, is more and more. I need to go through more of your recordings, seeing things that when I get in that would definitely help me,
Right.
because I got a name change question for you later on, when you do that segment.
Name change. Oh, I'll
Yep.
could talk about that tomorrow.
So
Yeah.
I can do that then.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Peace. Thank you.
That's all I had to say.
All right.
All right.
I
Take it easy, bro.
apologize to the YouTube people. Y'all couldn't hear him. I have everything set the way it's supposed to, but for some reason, this thing is just not cooperating with me. I could have it all right, and then next thing you know, there it's it switches up. All right, well, we're gonna leave that alone. I'll figure it out later. You think you'll leave it like like you want it, and then it come back and be the same. But this Telegram be doing its own thing. So I got to figure out something else. I had to go back to what I used to do, the blog talk. But it's 8:41. I got to get on this webinar, get ready to do that. That's going to be a couple of hours. So I'm going to be up late. I appreciate the brother going on. What he was saying, those who was on the YouTube world, what he was saying was we create the debt. We create the money by out signature. The money is actually the promissory notes. Those instruments are the money. That's the money. No, they said they heard them on YouTube, but okay. I was looking at the levels and it wasn't showing like when people talking, it's supposed to show the levels. Like when they talking through and I see green, and I didn't see anything green coming when he was talking, but they said they heard him good. I'm glad y'all heard him. Thank you. Maybe I should have looked at the chat. All right. Oh, so they heard him. If I heard somebody put up here, let me see what this guy is saying. If I heard Craig on last month, he said we were going to find out how to get foreign EIN, which is not a 98 number. Hope I understand correctly. Also, what is Rule 5.1? If you heard correctly, I think I never said I would do it on a public forum. You have to be into my membership, and I'll show you how to get a foreign EIN. A foreign EIN from my membership, where I showed them how to get those EINs without socials. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. But anyway, with that being said, I have to go and get ready for this webinar. Sorry to cut it short. I appreciate y'all getting on until tomorrow when I'm gonna go into these repo laws again. All right. Let me check one more thing. All right. Well, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Y'all have a good one. But I'll say this, if you're sitting in a place and you having problems and you've been going to this place for